From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Pony Express Open Wheel 4 Amateur Series, and we are here on All-Star 15 TV. How are you all doing? How was your Monday? Let me know in the chat, how are you guys doing? Right now we are getting right into qualifying, and as you're seeing people qualifying in the background, let's go over some race details here. I'm gonna throw up that race info. It's Barber Motorsports Park. Give me a sec, I think I have the wrong league up. Looks like it combined the league. I'll get that fixed in just a moment here. See if we can fix that. Did that do it? Yes, it did. The Pony Express Open Wheel 4 Amateur Series. We're here at Barber Motorsports Park. The course length is 2.27 miles with a track temperature sitting at 91 degrees, baking in that sun it looks like. But the ambient temperature outside is sitting at a nice and cool 65 degrees Fahrenheit. There is 55% humidity out there, and we are in Leeds. I think this is Alabama. Using the old Google machine right now. But how is everybody doing? It's gonna be a lot of fun tonight. This is the first time actually here. Yes, we are in Birmingham, Alabama. It says Leeds on the racing info. But I am your broadcaster, AJ Capola. New sponsors to the channel are in your bottom right-handed corner. You have Gulf Design Studios. My buddy Joe Hutchings runs a iRacing paint and design studio. You got Wrestling Over Everything. Find them on Facebook and the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. But right now we are taking a nice look at qualifying right now. Gonna jump on with Tyler Langenberg as he's getting through this 2.27 mile course. Very difficult racetrack, it looks like. A lot of this way and that way. Here he goes right back to the line to finish his first lap, and he will post a 1:22.66. So a minute 22.66. Still has another lap to go. Right behind him goes Paul Boyle for his first lap at a 1:22.70. Brad McCombs with a 1:23.32, and then James Boatman with a 1:26.36. Gonna put up their best lap times there. Oh, Zachary Nürnberger goes at a 1:23.97. Let's see if Langenberg can put down a faster lap to keep himself on the pole position. If you are new to the Pony Express Open Wheel 4 Amateurs, this is how they run their race. They have 10 minutes of qualifying after a 25-minute practice. After qualifying, they go into a 20-minute first feature event. After that first feature event, they have a 5-minute warm-up, let everybody cool off, take a drink, and get right back into it for a half hour. Yes, 30 minutes of a pretty much slobber knocker, as good old JR used to say it. But from feature 1 to feature 2, we do invert the field. So if you are first, you're going to start last, and if you're last, you're going to start first. The whole field. Looked like Langenberg improved to a 122.36. Boyle will stick with his 122.70. Nuremberg is going to stick with his 123.97. Mark Dillon moves up to 4th with a 123.35. And it looks like Mark Dillon still has another lap underneath him. Zach Purcell in the 51's looking to improve off of that 124.18. And that is not going to happen, as he's going to spin coming to that front stretch. Here's Sheriff Mark Dillon. See how he holds it going into the last couple turns. Just about a half a lap remaining. Yeah, that little F4 car. Really pick up speed in a hurry. Stops on a dime. But the thing is, if you smack that brake really hard, you're going to spin out, just like we saw Zach Purcell do it. Few more turns to go. And to the line, he will post a... Waiting for it. It's going to move up a spot. A 122.78 will put him 3rd best. Once again, I want to thank the channel partners, Nerds Doing Nerd Things, Gulf Digital Services, and the Wrestling Over Everything Facebook page. You're watching the Pony Express Open Wheel for Amateurs on All-Star 15 TV with just about 3 minutes left in practice. Gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen around this 16-turn racetrack. First time I've been here to call an event, watch an event, or even race in an event, but Barber Motorsports Park looks to be a lot of high speed with a lot of very slow corners. Now we're just waiting for the grid. But it looks like Tyler Langenberg is going to start on pole with nobody on the racetrack, everybody running their laps. Unfortunately, Alexander Hammonds doesn't look to be here in that 126. Let's see if somebody can keep up with Tyler Langenberg. Sheriff Mark Dillon and Paul Boyle have done a really good job to take the spotlight whenever they can. But here we go. We are gonna grid. And here is your starting lineup for the Barber Motorsports Park Pony Express Open Wheel for Amateurs event. Tyler Langenberg in the 91 from Florida is going to be your pole sitter. Paul Boyle is going to be your outside pole sitter. 3rd place is Sheriff Mark Dillon out of Michigan, and Brad McCombs out of New York is going to start 4th. 5th out of Michigan, Zachary Nurnberger. And out of the Midwest, starting in the 6th spot, it is Zach Purcell. And James Boatman starting in 7th all the way out of Florida. So here we go, everybody. Pace car is moving. And let's get right into it. Looks like they are pretty much starting at the beginning of the race course, so we're going to have a long pace lap here. And the pace car is going to take that left-handed turn into pit road. to start this event off. So, everybody watching at home, who is your pick for the first feature tonight? Tyler Langenberg starting on the pole, as Paul Boyle in that second spot. It looks like Mark Dillon is dropping back to that 7th position, going for that hard Charger award. With just about a half a lap to pace, we are about to go. 7 cars in the field, all great drivers. A lot of elevation change here, so you got to be really careful on how you take these turns under power. You could easily... There's a spider. There's a couple spiders. I don't do well with spiders. It's like, can't think of his name. Indiana Jones with snakes. Snakes? Why do they always have to be snakes? With just a couple turns before we get going, you're going to see that pace car, that beautiful iRacing Porsche safety car, take that left-handed turn onto the pit lane, and we are going to be in control of Barney the Flagman. Well, everybody, here we go. Pace cars on pit road. Got Zachary Nürnberger cleaning up those tires just a tad. And we are waiting for the green flag. There it is. Green in the air. Tyler Langenberg is going to take him past the start-finish line into turn number 1. Already with a 7/10 lead over second place Paul Boyle. As they're working the backstretch here, everybody's single file, doing a really good job. Everybody making sure they can get heat in those tires. Coming to the line, we'll give you a lap with Paul Boyle. But right now, Tyler Langenberg, less than a lap into it, is showing the way and pulling away from the field. Here they come towards the front stretch through the final turn, turn 16. We're going to jump on with Paul Boyle. Go silent so you can hear the sounds and sights. Oh, big mess behind them, though. Before we do that, we're going to have to wait a lap. Wow. Brad McComb, Zachary Nürnberger coming out of the final turn. Big issue there. Looks like the 3 of Mark Dillon already going down pit road. Big issues with the 23. Nürnberger doesn't look like he hits anything, but McCombs destroys that 23 car. Wow. Langenberg still showing the way over Paul Boyle. Zach Purcell already 5.5 seconds back. Then Zachary Nürnberger almost 8.5 seconds back. And James Boatman 9 seconds back. Sheriff Mark Dillon gets on pit road for about a 3-second stop. James Boatman with an issue. Let's go see this. Got Nürnberger right in front of him. Gotta take this right-handed turn. And does he just lose the back end? Yes, he does. I don't think he hits anything. And actually ends up facing the right way. Nice. So we are gonna jump on with Paul Boyle. And here is a lap around Barber Motorsports Park. You saw it there, everybody. A lap around Barber Motorsports Park on the 14 of Paul Boyle's beautiful Pony Express machine. Saw Tyler Langenberg with a slight issue in turn number 5 last lap, where it allowed that 14 to catch up. A little bit of a slide there, corrects it, and continues. Awesome job to not lose even more time by Paul Boyle. But look behind him. It is the 51 of Zach Purcell. Zach Purcell showing a lot of, I want to say, like, know-how when it comes to Barber Motorsports Park. He was very excited 2 weeks ago to come here. And he is really showing it. Actually closing in on both Paul Boyle and leader Tyler Langenberg. Brad McCombs with another issue. Let's go back and see what happens to that 23. Waiting for the issue. Ooh. Not bad. Could have been a lot worse. Looks like he was off track for about 20 seconds, just waiting for drivers to go by. But a lot of drivers also use this first feature event as more of a practice, an extended practice session. Which, it's 4 points, but the bigger points are later on. And it's the bigger race. Here comes Sheriff Mark Dillon right by, and we are going to jump back to live. Zach Purcell losing a little bit of ground there to leader Tyler Langenberg. But overall, everybody doing a really great job. It looks like Sheriff Mark Dillon trying to catch 5th place James Boatman. A straight shot through those 2 turns. That's 10 and 11. At least I think it's 10 and 11. Oh no, that's 7, 8, and 9. I apologize. Saw Jimmy Johnson wreck there about a month and a half ago. Took too much curb and spun the Indy car right out. But these F4 machines doing a very good job around this racetrack. Only one driver currently right now, 1 lap down, and that's the 23 of Brad McCombs. But your leader, Tyler Langenberg, we're going to throw up the driver details on your screen there. There it is, Tyler Langenberg with a 4-second lead over Paul Boyle. Paul Boyle in second place. Zach Purcell about 10.5 seconds behind the leader. Zachary Nurnberger about 12.5. James Boatman sitting in 5th, just about 27.5 seconds. And Sheriff Mark Dillon looking at about 28.5. But he is catching James Boatman hand over fist. Just about 2.5 seconds faster that last lap. Here comes the charge by that number 3 blue and black Pony Express machine. Also sponsored by Burgert Farms. And makes the pass in 1 and 2. Great move by Sheriff Mark Dillon. Gonna jump back up towards the front, because there is that beautiful red, white, and blue 91 of Tyler Langenberg. Puts down a phenomenal Sector 3 that last lap. Let's see if he can back up Sector 1 and Sector 2 with that very fast Sector 3. But he's coming to the line right now. Let's see, does he get a faster lap here? And he does, a 1:22.31. Mark Dillon now posts the fastest Sector 3 lap at a 21.49 for Sector 3. Very fast. Very slow corners here. Now he's heading all the way down to 7, 8, and 9. It's just going to be a straight shot. And then into the right-handed turn. The sweeping right-handed turn. Keeping Paul Boyle around 4.5 seconds. Everybody, this is a timed event, and we just have over 9 minutes remaining. As Langenberg extends that lead while being just 0.2 slower than his fastest lap. Once again, I appreciate everybody out there on the YouTubes watching the race, the Pony Express Open Wheel for Amateurs from Barber Motorsports Park tonight. Y'all are wonderful. Hit that like button, subscribe to All Star 15 TV. We just have a couple weeks remaining. Next week, we go to Alton Park, and the following week, it is the final race of the season at the Charlotte Roval. Gonna jump back through the field here. Looks like Zachary Nurnberger is clawing his way towards Zach Purcell. Gonna watch this for a couple laps as he goes through 7, 8, 9. He can see Purcell out of his front view mirror. Gap is just about 2.5 seconds. But I'd like to thank everybody, I'd like to thank the sponsor of the channel once again, Gulf Digital Services. Find them out on Facebook under the Gulf Digital Services Facebook page. Joe's a great guy, wrestling over everything. You like wrestling? You want to talk about it? They have the best wrestling page on Facebook right now, and the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. New episodes come out every single Friday. Check them out. Last week's episode was their finale for the Star Wars series. But look at that, Nürnberger fighting a very loose car. Very loose car. That's going to give him just about a little bit more of a gap. About 2.5 seconds still. Ooh, James Boatman with an issue. But we're going to see this and then move over to the Brad McCombs issue, where he had to jump to pit road. Oh, synchronized spinning. Boatman and McCombs. Ooh, McCombs actually backed into the wall there. Let's see. He's going to spin. Little synchronized spinning there. And how hard does he hit it? Enough to where he has to jump to pit road. Very unfortunate for that 23 Brad McCombs machine. Going to go back to live. And Zachary Nürnberger has Zach Purcell a second and a third away. Closing in on it. We're actually going to jump on board onto the 32 machine and really see it from his view on how he's trying to close in on the 51 of Purcell. Purcell has extended that lead about 2.5 tenths to 1.55. But I'm trying to find where Nürnberger's losing it. Could be every time he hits the curb, the car wants to get a little sideways. He's jerking the wheel back and forth as he's coming through 15 and then to 16. Looks like he's fighting a very loose F4 car. Lead is almost up to 2 seconds again. And this is the battle for third. This is where we saw Purcell have an issue, but Nürnberger has the issue really loose. You saw those hands. Them were fighting hands there. That car said, no, you're losing it, and great car control by Sheriff. Oop, not Sheriff Mark Dillon. Zachary Nürnberger, but Sheriff Mark Dillon puts the fastest time in the lobby. That's why I was bringing him up at a 1:22.10. Awesome job by all these guys. But up front, it is all Tyler Langenberg with a 5.7 second lead over second place Paul Boyle. Puts down the fastest Sector 1. But as he's coming back towards the line, let's see if he could one-up Sheriff Mark Dillon. But Mark Dillon has his own issues. He goes off track. Langenberg does a 1:22.05. Nürnberger on pit road. Zachary Nürnberger has entered the pit lane. With just a couple minutes remaining, maybe they're going to have a couple fuel issues here. We saw that a couple weeks ago. But wow, what a lap, a 1:22.05. But we're going to go see what happened to Mark Dillon. Here it is. There he is off the track. Oh, did he just overshoot the turn? Oh, I know what corner this is. We're going to jump on. Let's not do cockpit. Let's do roll bar. Here it is, going through 7, 8, and 9. And he takes way too much curb, loses the F4 car, and that Pirelli Those Pirelli tires were airborne for a second. Gonna have to clean those off just like he does there. And he is going just about 5.5 seconds off track. Wow. Good for him to stay composed and able to keep going. Tyler Langenberg still with about a 5.5 second lead over second place Paul Boyle. Third place is our hard charger, or not hard charger, that would be Mark Dillon. Our highest mover so far, Zach Purcell, in that third position, about 20 seconds back. So you got to be really careful with 7, 8, 9, and Nürnberger having an issue after he's come out of pit road. Wasn't off track very long, but we're going to see it here. Coming up the hill. It looks like he's just going to lose that back end. Does he hit anything? No, he does not in turn 15. But we're actually going to stick with him because he has another incident momentarily, probably in 1 or 2. And there it is in the middle of 1 and 2. Goes sideways once again. Oh, Mark Dillon with another issue, sitting in that 4th slot. Currently not moving, actually. Let's see what happens to the 3 of Sheriff Mark Dillon. Now he's moving. See the F4 car already loose. Gonna back it off the track. Oh, and he is just stuck. Oh, he's going to be off track for a very long time and actually has to jump to pit road. He was making great headway and unfortunately has to tow to pit road. Langenberg still with a 5.3 second lead now. Closed in just a little bit as we hit the checkered flag. Didn't realize it was over. Paul Boyle's gonna finish in that 2nd slot. Zachary Nürnberg coming out of that final turn. White flag was brought to you by the Wrestling Over Everything's Facebook page. If you like wrestling, go check them out. Nürnberger with just a couple turns to go to solidify that 4th position. There he goes. And then James Boatman will be your final one to cross the line coming out of the final turn, turn 16. There it is. James Boatman for a top 5 in feature number 1. Results are on your screen. We're on your screen for a split second. That work now? There it is. There's Heat Feature 1's results. Tyler Langenberg is going to come away with a 5.28 second win over Paul Boyle. Third goes to Zach Purcell. Zachary Nürnberger in 4th. James Boatman 5th. Sheriff Mark Dillon with a very unfortunate incident coming out of the final turn will finish 6th. And Brad McCombs will finish 7th. So while they're jumping into warm-up, we are going to take a quick break. Here is the open for the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join Nerds Doing Nerd Things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
And we are back. Let's see if we could talk to Paul Boyle. Paul Boyle, Agent Capola in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
Copy.
Hey, dude. Well, you kept that lead right around about 5 seconds. How was it running out on the racetrack at Barber Motorsports Park? Was it challenging? Because it looks like it's a lot of high speed with a lot of braking and tight turns.
Yeah, it's a really complex track. Lots of time spent under load, so no respite whatsoever. But I love that kind of feature. No, it's good. That gap was all about just tire management and more so fuel management. We all had to save a little bit to make it to the end there, as evidenced by a couple of the guys having to actually pit towards the end of the race. Just glad I managed to make it on fuel, and glad to be P2. Time to go chase him down again.
Yeah, now it's going to get interesting. You and Tyler Langenberg are going to come from 6th and 7th, respectively. So, good luck, pal. Hopefully, talk to you at the end of this thing.
Thank you very much, man.
All right, that was second place finisher in feature number 1, Paul Boyle. But we're gridding for our half-hour feature number 2 event. Everybody in the YouTubes, who you rooting for? Who you think's going to win? We have a half hour to decide that winner. Looks like Brad McCombs did not grid for the second feature event. Hope everything's okay on his end. But here is the grid. See if it pops up. There it is. Brad McCombs would have been your pole sitter, but Sheriff Mark Dillon moves up into that position. Second place would be James Boatman. Third, Zachary Nurnberger. Fourth would go to Zach Purcell. Fifth to Paul Boyle. And shotgun on the field, it is feature 1 winner Tyler Langenberg. Ding, ding, ding. The following contest is scheduled for a half-hour feature event. Here we go. As you saw in feature number 1, there was a lot of questions if they were going to make it on fuel. Well, I can honestly tell you with an extra 10 minutes, they're definitely not making it on fuel. So I'm looking to see them pit around that 15-minute mark, cut it in half, because some drivers really had to save to make 20 minutes. So if you pit around 15 to 16 as they're going through 7, 8, 9, led by that iRacing Porsche safety car and Sheriff Mark Dillon. Looks like Langenberg back there is blinking just a tad. Mark Dillon really giving that pace car a little bit of F4 justice. Hitting it in back. Have a little fun up in the booth by myself. At about 9:20 Eastern, we will bring you the Extreme Forces Racing League and their ARCA division. They're at Texas Motor Speedway for the Boot Scootin' 100. If you're into ARCA, if you're into NASCAR, come join myself and TJ Barnier. We have a lot of fun, a lot of antics. He's Clint Boyer. I end up being like Mike Joy. But come hang out with us if you're into racing. But we have a half hour of a grind here at Barber Motorsports Park. Who will win? Can Langenberg and Boyle go from 5th to 6th to the lead? But they have to get to the rest of the field. Coming out of turn 16, Sheriff Mark Dillon, James Boatman, and Zachary Nurnberger, 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Green flag in the air. Barney the flagman's waving it. Go and go and go. Good launch by the number 3 Mark Dillon machine, followed by James Boatman. Both really good on that start as they go through turn 1 and turn 2. Up the hill to turn 3 and 4. All the way down to a hard left-handed turn 5. Gonna have a kink for turn 6. Last feature, 7, 8, and 9 were not very good to Mark Dillon. Clips the curb way too much in that feature. Does it very well, almost perfect this time, all the way down to an S-bend. A quick left, a quick right for 10 and 11. Heading down to turn number 12. Long straightaways, very tight corners. There's turn 12, all the way down to turn 14, up the hill to turn 15. There's pit road on your left. And then out of turn 15 and 16 to the front stretch. And with one lap, he has a 1.4 second lead. Great job by Mark Dillon. But look at Zachary Nurnberger up 2 slots, starting in that 4th spot, hitting that 2nd position, running very consistently, and closing in on Mark Dillon there. We're actually going to jump on board. Wow, that visor's really dirty already. Still closing in on Mark Dillon as they're heading down to 7, 8, and 9. All the way down to that 2nd gear, a quick upshift to 3rd, to 4th. A lot of curb there. Gain him a couple hundredths of. And he is really wheeling it. From turn 14 to a little bit tighter of turn 15. Gonna really clip that apron. And that curb as well, and use the curb on exit. And he will do one heck of a job to just keep that all the way at a 1.5 second lead. Great job. Great job. But Mark Dillon still putting down fastest laps here. Langenberg still stuck in that 6th position, trying to find his way, probably looking towards pit stops as Paul Boyle is trying to close in on passing James Boatman. Showing to that outside, heading to turn number 7. Trying to set Boatman up. Boatman clips that curb big time. Almost loses it in front of the 14 and 91. Keeps the position. Man, you could see the intensity of Boyle really wanting to get by that 205 of Boatman. Ooh, and they touch. They collect. Sees part for Langenberg, and both huge issue and race implications involved. Wow. We'll go back and see that. You see the 205, the red 205, and the 14 on your right. Heading in. Oh, Boyle clips way too much of that curb, and the C's part. We're going to jump on board with Tyler Langenberg. Let's jump on board and see what he saw. First at full speed, and then we'll slow it down. Really hard on the brakes, drops it to 3rd gear. And away he goes. Going to back it up once again. And we'll make it a little bit slower here. What a move by Langenberg. Boyle's off the ground, clips the 205. Very rare to see Boyle make a mistake like that. And that opens Langenberg to take that 4th position. Up front, it's Sheriff Mark Dillon with a 7-8 second lead now over Zach Purcell. He is really moving. Boatman with an issue again. Let's go see this. We have a long feature number 2 and multiple incidents on the racetrack. There's the 205 trying to chase down Boyle. There's 7. Oh, at least he's going to face the right way there. Coming out of 9, and away he goes. Dillon looks like he's just being conservative now, probably trying to get around to that 15 to 18 minute mark before having to pit. But you are watching the Pony Express Open Wheel for Amateurs on All-Star 15 TV. Bottom right hand corner are the channel partners. First off, it is Gulf Digital Studios, Wrestling Over Everything, and the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. Nerds Doing Nerd Things, new episodes every Friday. Last week was the Star Wars finale event where they talk about the sequels. Gulf Digital Studios, Joe Hutchings does a wonderful job making iRacing paints and any digital art you might need, and then Wrestling Over Everything is a Facebook page by wrestling fans for wrestling fans. Check them out, and with the links down below, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to All-Star 15 TV. We have about 22 and a half minutes remaining in feature number 2. We are gonna go do a crank it up. Here you go, everybody. Listen to the sights and sounds of Barber Motorsports Park. You saw it right there, Nürnberger having a huge spin. We're going to go back and see that. Wow. Here we go. Zachary Nürnberger crossing the start-finish line. Into 1, into 2, already loose there. And loses it right in front of the 91. That's a couple drivers that have ended up with vehicle issues right in front of the 91. Leader Sheriff Mark Dillon has a 10-second lead over Tyler Langenberg. Langenberg up 5 positions, but fastest lap goes to Paul Boyle with a 1:22.03. Great lap by him. Appreciate everybody watching in the YouTube verse right now. Hit that chat button. Talk with me. Who you rooting for? Who you think's gonna win? Paul Boyle doing a really good job trying to catch Nürnberger. He's going to recover off of that issue. He's going to have to make a lot of ground up. Langenberg still sitting at a issue with Sheriff Mark Dillon, and Langenberg goes right by. Wow, we caught that right as it happened there. And he's just going to jump in pit road and take that pit stop now. Wow. Did not see that coming, everybody. Here you go. Clipping a lot of curb. He's already loose. Clips the outside curb. Spins it around. And has to hold the brakes back up. Oh. Loses a lot of time as Langenberg is going to shoot to his left. All Captain America style on your left. And he's just going to take it right to pit road. Langenberg now assumes the lead from last to first. The drivers behind him, Purcell 3 seconds back, Nürnberger 2.2 back, closing in on Langenberg. And Boyle 7.8 back. Wow. I can't believe Sheriff Mark Dillon got loose there. I mean, it happens. It happens to the best of everybody. But that 10-second cushion completely evaporated. Probably a very smart move for him to dive down pit road and take the pit stop now, but the issue is, can he make it to the finish without having to save? Nürnberger with the fastest sector one time there. He's moving pretty good. Purcell sitting in that second slot. We gotta come through turn 7, 8, and then 9. Nice and smooth. Trying to close the gap between him and race leader Langenberg. Keeping it right around 4 seconds. And Langenberg has a very good last couple turns to extend that lead to just 4.5 seconds. As you see, Zachary Nürnberger hit pit lane, and so does Paul Boyle. Both on pit road for their stops. Now we're going to jump and see Mark Dillon where he's going to cycle out after that spin and that pit stop that it came right after that spin. Looks like he's going to be able to take that third position, now only about 25 seconds back from the leader. See how much time you lose on pit road. You lose about 30 seconds, so this could very much work out in Mark Dillon's favor, but it's all about how much fuel you need to take and if you would like to change tires. Last final turns for Tyler Langenberg. Gonna have Pitt in on his left, and he's gonna stay out on the racetrack. Past Barney the flagman as he puts 11 laps on the board with just about 14 and a half minutes remaining. Cutting through the course very well, still pulling away from Zach Purcell. But here comes Mark Dillon, about 25 seconds back, puts up the fastest Sector 2 and Sector 4 times. Looking to really close in on that gap that the 91 has given himself. Seven, 8, 9, very smooth, very easy on the gas. Gonna jump on the roll bar with right on top of the halo. See if he ends up hitting pit road. Boatman has an issue. That's gonna drop him back to that 6th position. Here we go. Let's check this out. Car is very laggy. You saw a jerk right there as he goes into the turn and spins it right out. Holds the brake so Paul Boyle can get by. Jumping to live. Langenberg opening that lead up. Opening it big time to almost 8 seconds over Zach Purcell. And Sheriff Mark Dillon about 25, almost 26 seconds. And on old tires and low fuel, Langenberg still pulling away as you see Zach Purcell in the background. When will this 91 hit pit road? Will this be the time? No, it isn't. He stays on the racetrack. Stay tuned to after the broadcast. We will get to our Gulf Digital Services interviews with our top 3 podium drivers. Still watching that 91 of Langenberg hit mark after mark after mark. And speaking of Sheriff Mark Dillon, he has fallen back about a second over Langenberg as he's crossing the line now with the fastest time on the race course for this session at a 1:21.87. Very fast there. Needs to keep doing that if he wants any shot at getting to Langenberg. That 91 still has to pit, but he is also up 6 positions. Starting shotgun on the field with his feature number 1 win. Going through turn 14 to 15 there. Stays out on the racetrack once again. Let's see if he bunny hops Mark Dillon. Crossing the line. His time is a 1:22.19. Paul Boyle still losing a tad bit. Now that lead is up to 10 seconds and still expanding. Mark Dillon, does he go faster? No, he does not. About a half a second slower. So has one very good lap. Takes a little time out of that lead, but then gives it immediately back and then some. Boatman on pit road. Zachary Nürnberger having an issue. Let's see what happens with this 32. Here it is. He's past the start-finish line. This is where many people have had issues, and there he goes. He loses it right in the middle of 2 and 3. But gets going right away. Doesn't go off track. There's Langenberg. Langenberg has thought he hit pit road. Must have blinked out for just a tad. Are we not live? Yeah, now we're live. Langenberg does hit pit road. Let's see how long he's on pit road, and he's got Purcell right behind him. Here comes Mark Dillon. What can Mark Dillon do? Langenberg is away as Purcell's just hitting his box. That lead is down to just a second. Can it be done? Look at that. It is under a second. Dillon can see the 91 of Langenberg. Dillon puts the fastest in Sector 1. Can he put pressure on that 91? Gap is growing just a tad. Sector 2 goes to Dillon as well by 0.03. Now we're going to check on Sector 3. I'm going to bring it up on your screen. All green for Dillon there. And coming to the line, you're looking at a good couple tenths. Now it's just down to a half a tenth. Now that Langenberg has heat in those tires, does he pull away? 7 minutes left in this event tonight here at Barber Motorsports Park. This is feature number 2. Feature number 1 was won by your leader right there, the 91 of Tyler Langenberg. Right now, Mark Dillon really trying to close in on that 91. Down to just under 4 tenths. Dillon drives it in deep. Gonna lose a little time off of exit. Up to almost 6 tenths now. Great battle. I'm leaving that sector time up there so you could see the differences. Good sector for Dillon in 1 and 2, but that third sector gave a tiny bit back to Langenberg as they're out of 15 into 16. Let's see it there. Almost a good 10th and a half for Dillon right there. We're going to jump on board with that number 3. And you could see that gap either grow or slim down, because it is getting intense. Drives it in deep into 4 and 5. 7, 8, and 9. Dillon gets a little loose there. He keeps it in the gas. Now he's under 3/10. 5 minutes remaining. Can Dillon get to Langenberg? Gonna back up the corner just a tad to get a nice run, but drops it all the way back to about a half a second there. Into 15. It looks like Dillon is fighting a very loose race car there. Out of turn 16, heading back towards the line. That gap is completely shrunk. What is Mark Dillon going to have to do to Tyler Langenberg if he wants that lead? Because it looks like Langenberg is just Mr. Cool, Calm, and Collective under pressure here. And they are both staying with each other, but pulling away from the field just a tad. But Zach Purcell with a great couple turns there. I'm going to jump back and look at that 51 machine, as he just has an issue. I'm going to go back and check that out. Might have started talking too soon, as Zachary Nürnberger gets by. Here it is, 51 Envision's machine. Oop, stays on the racetrack. 32 goes by, but they're going to have a nice battle soon. Here's that battle. Coming out of 15 into 16. Just going to be doing this a couple more times. 3 minutes to go. Langenberg, your leader. Sheriff Mark Dillon really trying to put the pressure on that 91 with a great run coming out of 4 and 5. Heading down to 7, 8, and 9. Really close. That number 3 gets really close to Langenberg. Langenberg blinks out just a tad, down to 0.25. Great run by the 3. Gonna back up the corner here, take that tight turn into 15, and then into 16. 2 laps to go. That lead looking at just about 0.4 of a second. Will James Boatman in front of them be a little bit of an issue to pass, or will he pull over? Gap is growing just a tad, up to a half a second. Most likely going to see Mark Dillon try to really wheel it in, maybe overdrive a turn. Hopefully it doesn't bite him in the butt. Man, what a battle here. What a battle. We wouldn't be having this if that number 3 did not spin out before pit stops. Let's see, how do they get around Boatman? Can both of them get by him before the turn? And yes, they can. It looks like the 205 slowed down just a tad, but that lead has grown. Coming through the last couple turns here. Heading towards that white flag. Out of turn 16. White flag in the air. White flag is powered by Wrestling Over Everything. Last chance for Mark Dillon. Can he get to Langenberg? Great run out of 4 and 5 for the 91. Using that draft all the way down to turn number 7 and 8 and 9. See the 3 really good on these couple turns, but gives some up there. Goes a little wide coming out of 9. Just a couple more turns to go. Can Mark Dillon get there? Doesn't look like it. 3/10 separating both of them with just 3 turns to go. Ooh, thought about a bumper. Mark Dillon really loose off of that. And coming out of 16, it is the 91 of Tyler Langenberg sweeping here at Barber Motorsports Park. Stay tuned to after everybody finishes tonight, and we will get you the podium interviews. First place went to Tyler Langenberg, Sheriff Mark Dillon in second, Zach Purcell crossing the line in third, Paul Boyle in fourth, and James Boatman fifth, Zachary Nurnberger and Brad McComb sixth and seventh respectively. Man, great run by that 91 of Tyler Langenberg as he's going to put it to the side on the hauler. And let's see if we can get some interviews going. Just waiting for it to populate in the chat. Gonna take off that white flag, that beautiful white flag. Let's see. We'll talk with Mr. Mark Dillon finishing second place here tonight. Mark Dillon, Agent Capola in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy, pal?
Yeah, you got me?
Hey, there you are, pal. Holy cow, that was one heck of a battle. We're talking to second place finisher, Sheriff Mark Dillon. Wow, that was probably one of the best battles I've seen in a race in a long time. Kept it clean. It looked like you tried to give him a bumper in that last turn. I think it was turn 15. What are your thoughts on the race, pal? Both feature 1 and feature number 2.
I wasn't trying to give him a bumper, and I honestly I don't know how we didn't make contact. I felt like I don't think I've ever been that close to a car without touching him. So I had to lift in the middle of that corner, and I got loose, and luckily I didn't wreck it there. But no, it was fun, good racing. Yeah, I feel like I threw it away tonight. You know, I had a 11-second lead, and then I looped it 2 turns before pit road. So, yeah, feel like I threw away the second heat.
Were you coming to pit road that lap anyway?
I was actually going to go one more lap. The window had just opened, but I was going to go one more lap to be safe. But since I looped it there, I just went ahead and came down, and right there at entrance, and he was going to pass me anyways. I just went ahead and came down pit road, but yeah, that cost me 11 seconds. That sucks.
It did. We watched you try to save that and everything, and then Tyler Langenberg passing you on the left. Very smart move to take it down pit road right there, since the window opened up. But one hell of a battle with you two. We focused on that the latter half of that second feature, but great run by the both of you, pal, and looked like you did good in the second feature. What happened in the first feature? Did you end up on like a little bump that you couldn't get off of?
Yeah, that really screwed me there too. Yeah, I looped it in the last corner. I think I was in third or fourth. I think I was in fourth. And yeah, looped it in that last corner. And somehow, I don't know, maybe the sprinklers must have ran and I was stuck in the wet grass or something. Yeah, I couldn't move.
Yeah, that was
very
cost
me 2 spots. Cost me 2 spots, cost me 2 points. But it gave me the pole for the second heat, and then I screwed that up too. So,
yeah, you'll get it with 2 more weeks. You'll Alton Park next week. How do you think you're gonna fare at that racetrack?
At least I think I know that track. I've never been to Barber until tonight. So right, I think I've been to Oulton or whatever.
Oh, is that
So
how
it
you
should be
say
good.
it?
I have no idea.
All right, brother. Well, good luck in your NASCAR race later tonight, and we will talk to you next week.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right. All right, let's talk to our third place finisher. That is Zach Purcell. Zach Purcell, Agent Pole in the NDNT broadcast booth. Do you have a copy, pal?
I do.
Holy cow, dude. What a race. You know, trials and tribulations out the door and all that stuff, but to come home third in the second feature, how does it feel? How'd the race go tonight?
Feels good. I was starting to find some pace at the end of the first heat, which kind of got lucky with the podium there as well. Um, but I was really able to use that once when I was when Zach was on track around me. I was like finding the speed. He was pulling it out of me. But man, that was probably the most like on track, like battling for positions I've at least had personally like the whole year so far.
Yeah, that was very interesting. It looked like you and Nürnberger and also Boyle all under a blanket at one point, with you coming out the victor there. You go to Oulton Park next week. How do you think you're going to fare there?
I'm gonna hope I do well. I can say that the first race I ever did with F4 during that like week 13 when they released it was at Oldham Park and I won it. So we'll see if I can if I can replicate that again.
There you go. Well, we'll hope to see you, I guess, in victory lane there. But, what a good race. Podium on both feature number 1 and feature number 2. A lot to be proud of. The race course definitely looked difficult tonight.
Yeah, it's a really fun one. I really want to. I hadn't done this one a lot in other cars, and I'm excited to do it more in the future.
All right, dude. Well, we'll let you get ready for, I think you're in the NASCAR league with the Pony Express, so good luck with that.
I am. Thank you.
See you later. That was our third place finisher, Zach Purcell. And without further ado, it is time to talk to a race winner. He swept both feature number 1 and feature number 2. He's the driver of the 91, Tyler Langenberg. Tyler, holy cow. If that's how you're going to sweep the night, well, you sweep the night.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, big battle between you and Sheriff Mark Dillon. The last, I want to say, six laps. Did you feel the pressure at all? Did you know he might give you a little shot? What was going through your head now that you were under a second for the latter part of that second feature?
Tires on that stuff, so I was held for like another second or two longer than I should have. Yeah, that's why the gap was that tight. I didn't expect to take tires, but I did on accident. So yeah, that was the story of my feature. Shout out to everyone at D Line again, and yeah, it was some good racing again.
Yeah, well, I appreciate for you taking tires, because that made the last 6 minutes, very exciting. And I mean very exciting. So I appreciate you taking tires and that heck of a battle with Mark Dillon there. I didn't know who was going to get it, but I knew it was going to be well fought for. But you're taking that 91 to Oulton Park next week. How do you think you're going to fare over there? And can you move anything from Barber Motorsports to Oulton Park?
Alton has some pretty fast corners, kind of like Barber does. So I think it's a pretty similar track to Barber. Problem is, I think the walls are a little bit closer than Barber, but
All right.
I don't know.
Well, it's going to be interesting, because if they're closer, there's a good chance if you hit one, you're going to hit the other.
Yeah.
All right. So it sounds like you have a couple sponsors you'd like to plug. Is there anybody else you'd like to thank?
Just shout out to all the D-Line guys, if they're listening out there. Not really any sponsors because they're not actually mine.
All right, brother. Well, we'll see you in 1 week's time at Alton Park. You have a wonderful week, pal.
Yeah, I'll see you too.
All right, here on your screen right now, it's your results for feature number 2. Gotta thank both, or all three of the Nerds Doing Nerd Things, Golf Digital Services. Gotta get used to saying the new thing. And Wrestling Over Everything, the WOE. Find both Golf Digital Services and Wrestling Over Everything WOE on Facebook for more information. Tyler Langenberg sweeps both feature events tonight. Takes the poll as well. Sheriff Mark Dillon takes it home in second. Zach Purcell third. Fourth goes to Paul Boyle. Zachary Nurnberger in fifth. James Boatman sixth. And not making the featured event, feature number 2, Brad McCombs will take 7th. You all have a wonderful rest of your night. If you're not busy, come hang out with all of us, or myself and TJ Barnier, in about 25 minutes for the Extreme Forces Racing League, their ARCA division at Texas Motor Speedway for the Boot Scootin' 100. Until then, you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening, wonderful week, and we will see you at Alton Park.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.